Thank you for being here with me. As I shared the energy for the month of March and themes that are coming up for this month. The word intensity has been coming through really strong. So there's this intense energy, this intense transformation, the energy around death, not a physical death, but the dying of, well, I guess in essence, it can be physical deaths in some essence. I'm not saying people dying, but things in our lives dying, systems dying, things breaking down, grief, a deep feeling of grief through this transformational process. We're being asked to go through the grieving process. Life itself is really no longer allowing us to push or dismiss the grieving process. And when we go through a death, and I know people throw around the phrase ego death a lot. I hear it within like spiritual communities and platforms, which, yes, that can be a real thing that we're going through. But even just the grieving process of and the death process of certain expectations that we had, certain realities that we saw for ourselves, certain ways that we thought, certain belief systems, the death of it can be things of like you thought you were going to be successful in one path within um, uh, your work life, and now all of a sudden that whole idea and that persona that you created is no longer. And so you can be going through like this death process of like, what is this? I don't seem to fit in this space anymore. That could be death within relationships, feeling like you were going to be with a certain person, forever, and now all of a sudden there's something in you that is dying, a piece of you that just no longer is in alignment with that person or people in your life. Doesn't have to be a life partner or romantic partner. These can be friendships, these could be all kinds of relationships, and how we relate to things in our lives that are going through this dying process, because we are all in this deep transformational energy. And I think we're always, as humans, we're always evolving, we're always growing, we're always changing. But there just seems to be more of a rapid growth. And the death process doesn't have to be so deep, dark, and painful. Um, there can be somewhat of a lightness within that process if we're aware of what's going on. And that's where becoming like aware of these things and not pushing it away, but actually moving into them, getting more curious about why is this coming up? What are these feelings trying to show me? We can't stop the process, and we can't skip the process. So, and if we try, it actually will cause like deeper pain within us. So um, there is a mention about like with every new cycle there is a death and rebirth. So we can look at it in that kind of aspect. That yes, certain aspects of our lives are dying or falling away, but in that process and in that transformation, there's also something coming in that's new, and that can give you a whole fresh new perspective when we can kind of see it in that way. Another thing that came up really strong today for the energy of March was the spirit animal of a black spider. Most people, like myself, uh, fear spiders, so it was interesting that a black spider has shown itself it's to me many times recently, and I noticed one in my path, two in within a short period of time in odd places, one outside and one of my home, one inside, that actually walked right across my foot's path, and it scared me. And the message it had for me, though, was pretty profound about not fearing this animal, and letting me know that basically it was here to provide truth and wisdom to help guide us through this transformational process. um, Within the deep darkness, there can definitely be things that we most of us fear, because there are spaces, and this is not necessarily just like the dark of being outside, but the dark within us, the spaces that we are afraid to kind of enter into. But within those deep dark spaces, the places that we fear, if you look at it like if you look at it, let's say walking through, and you are in the dark, and all of a sudden you kind of are about to walk into a web, and a light kind of shines upon that web. You can almost see like the glistening and the iridescence of this woven pattern. Um, the spider within its one thread has now created this tapestry, a new story, a new creative path, a new creative vision. So within this this web that it has weaved, it's actually igniting this creative process, and it actually is more, it's nourishing to the soul. So the spider was here to tell us a message of um, basically showing up to let us know that all that we are dealing with, and all that is going to be coming up for us, is not really here to harm us, because everything is for us, but it's here to help you. So if you can look at everything in your life basically as a messenger, so rather than me seeing that spider and my instinct was like, oh, I have to harm it, I have to hurt it, I have to kill it, um, it it was telling me, no, stop, I'm here to help you, I have a message for you. And that everything in our life is basically a messenger of the divine that is helping all of us, like every aspect, every piece of nature, every insect, everything, every hardship, every joy. It's all a messenger of the divine, and it's here to lead us all on our most sacred path of life. So that is the overall theme that I received in the message for the energy of of March. Um, I hope this is helpful. Thank you so much. All my love. Bye.